culture that's right to type. Today's top story.
The first major movie since this past March to have a theatrical release open to $12.7 million.
Yeah, but
was Unhinged, starring Russell Crowe. Also in the week following are Bill and Ted Face the Music, which dropped a theatrical and VOD release. I'm going to be watching this at home.
Yeah.
As well as the long-delayed release of Marvel's The New Mutants. Also going to be watching that at home. And upcoming Christopher Nolan's new movie, Tenet. I've been waiting to watch this in the theater. I'm going to have to watch it at home.
There's three things that I want to say. I'm going to start with the third thing first.
All right.
Tenet. Tenet is like the what is it? I think it's Warner Brothers. That's like that's the movie that they've been waiting on. They've been waiting to see. So far movies like unfortunately Unhinged and The New Mutants we're testing the waters because they actually had some movie releases. We had movie releases in June, but they were like
very
$500,000, $600,000 made because it's like most of the theaters, and at this point, even theaters in our own hometown and stuff like that are not open.
No.
If we wanted to go see Bill and Ted Face the Music, we would have to drive an hour or so to a movie theater. And as of right now, I'm not that. I mean, hey, I'm a Keanu fan just as much as the next person.
Hey, Alex Winter, he's my guy.
Yeah. And I really wanted to see The New Mutants, not really, but kind of.
You want to see how bad it is? I think it's going to be good.
Ah, man, the reviews are not.
Oh, damn it, man.
But they've been talking bad about the movie for 3 years now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. But yes, I feel like, again, seeing with Bill and Ted's and stuff like that, to drop a theatrical release and be available on digital demand.
It's a bold move.
I mean, it's a bold, but I mean, I think it's in this world right now, it's the way to make money in the movie business.
Very true. And I thought that's where it was going anyway. I thought people were going to be dropping stuff on video. You know, in our old world, things were going to come out on VOD and to the theater.
About time our fans see this show, Disney Plus will drop Mulan on.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to watch Mulan, which was supposed to drop in the movie theaters, but now they're just coming out on the Plus.
Hey man, Disney Plus got everybody by the you know what's. They like, hey,
I'm watching.
I'm
watching. It is now documented that a 33-year-old Hong Kong man found that he had a second case of COVID-19 occurring 142 days after his first case.
Wow.
So
more good news.
I know that there's always been mumblings and stuff about whether or not
once you get it once,
hey,
you got it. It's over.
But I mean, I guess there are cases of people getting like chicken pox and stuff twice, even though that's not supposed to happen.
Maybe this must be a rare thing, right?
We don't know if it's rare yet.
Oh, that's right. It hasn't been around that long.
We don't know if it's rare.
That's right.
But this is the actual first documented case of someone who had COVID 4 months ago, was sick. The whole thing went through it, and he's still a young guy. He's 33 years old.
Yeah. Jesus was 33.
And then he
died.
And then he got it again.
Damn, that sucks. Kind of sounded like Forrest Gump. And then I got COVID again. Well, hey, the Milwaukee Bucks staged a walkout and made a decision to boycott their playoff game versus the Orlando Magic following the police shooting of Jacob Blake and this team. Man, what's up with all this bad news, bro? I mean, it's current, it's topical, but Jesus Christ, the shooting of Jacob Blake in the team's home state of Wisconsin. That was awful, man.
Theatrical release.
I know, that's true.
But this is gonna get better.
Okay, I hope we get back on track here.
That's pretty dark.
Did you see the video?
Yes, like a lot of people.
I try not to watch those videos.
I only did see it. I only watched it like once, and then after I watched it, it came up on certain things.
Right.
And I'm not always like averting my eyes, but what I don't want to be is I myself don't want to be desensitized to seeing this, to just like looking at it like, oh, here we go. It's like,
yeah, I know.
There's so much going on. There's been so much things that there are other like athletes that have come out in support of what's happening in the NBA, and some of the NBL players who sat out and who have done things. And then there's other athletes and celebrities or whoever, people who are just going the other way and saying like, and
I'm tired of hearing the shut up and play people. It's like, look, some people have a forum and they feel like they have a voice to speak to large volumes with that forum, and they feel a responsibility to do so, and they do so. So that was big ups to the Milwaukee Bucks and the other teams that said, hey, look, F your $1 billion a year, billions of dollars a year. Without us, you can't do nothing. So
I hear that, and then when I was talking to my brother, he actually made an interesting point. Like on the other side of the coin, it's like, okay, you sit out, you don't play any games, or you don't play some games and things like that. But at the end result, I mean, are we doing this just for the awareness? Are we doing this to obliterate, because the thing is, it's like, well, what happens when the next time this happens? Because this has, like, sorry to, break the illusion, this didn't just start in 1991 when, Rodney King was caught on camera.
Oh, yeah, that was just the first time it was caught on camera.
Well, we have cameras now, so that was one of those things where, there was cameras before, things were caught on camera, and people were like, yeah, we're not putting that on the news. You're not letting people see that. Right. Now there's a thing where you can just put that out there. So I'm saying all that to say is this has been going, as much as certain people are tired of hearing protesters or people saying, hey man, this, as much as people are tired of hearing it, there's of us that we're tired of living in it. We're more tired of living afraid than you hearing about us not playing a sport for your entertainment. If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, man. Speaking to the converted, baby.
Okay, now let's go ahead and brighten things up. This week's review, Lovecraft Country.
This deals with some heavy themes too.
Atticus Black joins his friend Letitia Effin James and his uncle George to embark on a road trip across 1950s Jim Crow America in search of his missing father. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and start off by saying that just even the overall premise, just in I don't even say the premise, the subplot of this is that Tick is coming back from the military.
Yeah.
And so he's going and he comes up with his Uncle George, who has a business.
Yeah.
He has a travel business of finding safe places where black people can drive across America where they don't have to be in fear of their life.
Some people are going to find out what a sundown county is for the first time.
Yeah, yes. I mean, it's one of those things too. It's like
they still exist, from what I hear.
That's scary.
I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, so yeah, how can I say this?
Hey, you know what? This show is good.
The show is good. I mean, currently, as of right now, there's only 2 episodes out.
Right.
There's a whole supernatural vibe that goes into this. I mean, there is it's brought to you by J.J. Abrams and Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
They're the executive
Bad Robot and Monkey Paw.
And there's also, I mean, it's a very well acted, very well written, and the premise is very creative. It's taking you to a bunch of different places that you don't expect. I personally say, give the first episode a full burn from beginning to end. You can, like in the very beginning, you can be like, what is this? Where are they going with this? And then they're like,
it's a slow burn.
Okay.
But
yeah, it's a slow burn.
You gotta stick with it.
And one of the
boring though.
For me, one of the best scenes in it was the block party.
Loved it, man.
I mean,
I'm from Chicago, and
when they got the fire plug and they opened. I mean, because they had the thing, and then I was like, oh man, you don't need.
That reminds me of summertime.
And then when you see the Why you always trying to shut down the fun? But then you realize, man, that's a lot of water wasted. But it was hot.
It was hot as hell, man. There's no public pools out there. You gotta turn on some fire hydrants, baby.
Yeah.
You have to do. Well, this week, 252 remembers. Oh my God, this is just the most awful goddamn week, bro. 252 remembers Chadwick Boseman, who played Black American icons Jackie Robinson and James Brown with searing intensity before inspiring audiences worldwide as the regal King T'Challa in Black Panther MCU blockbuster franchise. Boseman was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer 4 years ago and died at his home in the LA area with his wife and family by his side.
Yeah, honestly, we were playing a role-playing game yesterday, and
when the news broke,
and one of the guys, as we were doing the game, was looking on his phone and just says, "Hey man, Chadwick Boseman died," and it killed the game for us. Yeah. We all looked on our phones. We're like, this has got to be, a hoax and stuff like that. Yeah. And just to see, and I would just have to say, knowing that he was diagnosed in 2016 and all the work
he did, man,
and he didn't complain, I even said several times, it reminded me of earlier this year where I kind of, it's kind of crazy because like, you can't remember a lot of things pre-COVID, but earlier this year they were like, "Hey, did you see the scary, shocking pictures of Chadwick Boseman so skinny?" And they were wondering if he was preparing for a role or if he was. There was all this stuff going on, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, well he's getting ready, did the 5 Bloods and blah blah blah." And so you're like, "Oh okay,
yeah, he's got to be good."
All the work he did while undergoing chemotherapy, being sick, still being inspirational,
still doing humanitarian stuff,
all the things he was doing. I did more than just squirt a tear yesterday, going through the posts, reading the things that people who have worked with him, people who didn't work with him, actors who were older and in the business longer, still saying they were inspired by him. Yeah. The work that he did, my own kid was surprised when they were like, he was 42 years old. He was like, he didn't even think Chad was that old. He was like, man,
that ain't old, man.
Yeah, but and there was all these other starking correlations. Yes, like yesterday was also Jackie Robinson Day. Jackie Robinson Day is in April, but because of COVID, they chose to celebrate Jackie Robinson Day
that day.
Yesterday, at the same time. So everyone had the 42 jersey on. Chadwick played Jackie Robinson in the movie, and not only that, but it was also the other King's birthday, Jack Kirby, the creator of Black Panther. And there was so many connections.
That's 2020 saying, "Hey, I got this on lock, and y'all ain't there."
Yeah, so far, 2020 has been a hell of a year, like no other.
Nah, I don't remember another year like it. And it's, hopefully it'll just be a blip in the next 2 years.
This is definitely a footnote, a big time footnote.
I'm saying.
Like the Great Depression. That's going to be.
Still reeling from that years later. And hey, we got more stuff to come, We could get Trump again for another 4 years. I'm Ralphie D. I was trying to bring the party all the way down. I'm Ralphie D, and that's news to me.
I'm Kuwata Kurt. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
We'd like to hear what you think. Leave us a comment down below and let your opinions be heard.
And if you like this video, please check out other videos on our channel like This Weekend and Nostalgia. And for my boy JB, I'd like to give a shout out to the comic book retailers out there, because without the source material, we can't be enjoying the movies that we so readily love today.
Damn right.
And this has been 252 Pop Fiction, where you hear it first.
Hit me in the head. It's 2020, y'all.
Adonis, pull yourself together.